Hello, we're back. Welcome back to Woodbridge. You know what the mayor always says, best town around. And according to him, I'm the music man of Woodbridge. So welcome to Woodbridge. Glad you're all here. WoodbridgeArtsNJ.org is the website. I got a lot of calls from people today because it was raining everywhere except Woodbridge. And if you're on the website, you will know what we're doing in terms of inside or outside, whether the show is on or not on. So WoodbridgeArtsNJ.org is where you can sign up, or you can sign up over at this table with Al Schaefer. We're here Sunday with Christian Lopez and Fairground Saints. That's a very cool show. We're here next Wednesday with Incendio, a world music group that we had here in 2011, and M Shanghai, an Americana band from Brooklyn. It's all on the website. Every Wednesday, every Sunday. Sundays at 6 o'clock on this stage, Wednesdays at 7:30. So I think that's it for now. You remember last year we had Harpeth Rising, that amazing trio. Their manager was here with them, and he said to me, "You're familiar with Ryanhood?" He represented Ryanhood as well. And I was vaguely familiar. Our buddy Linda at Cozy Cabin had them on her schedule last year. And I went and I checked out some videos and was like instantly, wow, I need them on my stage. So please give a warm welcome to Ryanhood.
Thank you.
Grazie mille. Ready to go, honey, let's begin. Try to see by the light of the sun and tell it like it is. You wanna sing so deep and laugh so long. Even silence himself wants to sing and laugh along. Wanna overcome pain without feeling pain. Yeah, I guess I want what I want when I want it, while I want it both ways. Ooh, oh, oh, ooh, oh, oh. Move me around the sun, around, move me, make me feel something I don't. You won't stop. Personal offense, and stop talking about love in the future tense, like it's something I feel in the perfect light, when everything everywhere's just right. Well, I'll be waiting a long time. I'll be waiting a long time. Move me around the sun, around, move me, make me feel something I want on my own, All right, here's the guitar. Sun, around, move me, make me feel something I want. Move me around the sun, and make me feel something I want. 'Cause I've been waiting a long time. 'Cause I've been waiting a long time on my own. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. My name is Ryan David Green, and this is Cameron Hood, and together we're Ryanhood. We're from Tucson, Arizona. It's nicer here today.
Yeah, if you ask me where I want to be, it's Woodbridge on a Wednesday. It seems like the right choice. Well done, folks. Two of us are buddies from high school, where we went to the same high school, but were one grade apart and didn't feel like we could be friends. And we were in different bands, so we doubly didn't feel like we could be friends. So we were mostly actually high school rivals, always kind of competing for the Battle of the Bands title at our school. And it felt like there's not room in this town for the both of us. It was like that kind of thing. And as soon as we graduated, though, we became friends and started playing together. The rivalry died, which hopefully most high school rivalries that ever existed in this crowd have since died. Ours did, in fact, die. We became friends, started playing together, formed a band, and then right away Ryan was like, peace out, I'm moving to Boston to go to Berklee School of Music. And I was like, don't go. And I went to University of Arizona. So I got an art degree in Arizona down here on the map. And he was like, da, 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 da. And he went to Boston and he got a music degree. And during that time, we did have a band, but it was largely through the mail and over the phone. And a mutual friend called me in the middle of that time and was like, did you hear about Ryan? I was like, that's a terrible way to start a phone call. And he's like, no, it's not that bad, but, well, it is kind of bad, but, and I was like, what is it? And he's like, he broke up with that super cool East Coast girl that he was dating. And I was like, no! And I felt really, really sad for him. She was like one of those kind of cool girls who wore her hair in ringlets and had like a collar that she put up, like this, and had scarves. And I'm from Arizona, so I'd never even seen a scarf before in my life. And she had all those things, and I was like, it's the saddest day for my friend. And so I just walked around Tucson sad all day for my friend living on the East Coast, and I ended up doing what any good guy friend would do for their guy friend in a moment like that, and I wrote him a poem. I learned later that it's weird to write your guy friend a poem after a breakup. But I sent it to him, and I was like, listen, man, I don't really know what this poem means, but it's roughly about hope. And he's like, good. I also don't know what it means, but thanks for sending it to me. So within a couple of months, probably, he convinced me to move to Boston. We each had a college degree, and he's like, I have a plan for our future. The band that you were in is done. The band that I'm in is done. We can be Ryanhood full time. And I was like, what's the plan? He's like, we'll be street performers at Quincy Market. And I said, that sounds really good. My parents are going to be proud of the money they put into my education. I'm in. And he's like, let's do it. So we started doing that. And once I moved there, he goes, do you remember the poem that you wrote me back when? I was like, of course I remember that poem. He's like, dude, I wrote 2 lines that might make a chorus if we turn your poem into lyrics. Do you want to hear it? And I was like, of course I want to hear it. How's it go? And these are the 2 lines. How pointless is my point of view until I reach the point of you. I was like, I don't know what that means either, but I really like it, and I think it would be perfect for that poem. Why don't we put those 2 things together? Why don't we be Ryanhood full-time, and why don't we go on tour to Woodbridge? And he was like, yeah, that sounds really good. So you're all caught up with our story. We're gonna play that poem turned song, and we are so pleased to be with you today. We are called Ryanhood. Me and don't abuse me for showing the hope in this moment, for showing the hope in this moment. I'm strong and I'm stopless, I'm weak and in love. I'm strong and I'm stopless, I'm weak and in love. Strong and I'm stopless, I'm weak and in love. Strong and I'm stopless, I'm weak and in love. Choose me and don't abuse me for showing the hope in this moment, for showing the hope in this moment, this moment, moments, moments, moments.
Strong and I'm stopless and weekend in love. I'm strong and I'm stopless and weekend in love. Strong and I'm stopless and weekend in love. Strong and I'm stopless and weekend in love.
Well, how pointless is my points of view until I reach the point of view. Well, how pointless is my points of view until I reach the point of you.
Crawling out of my skin, falling in it again. Breaking, I'm taking, I'm leaving it in. Claiming the promise, I'm grinding the crush. Strong and I'm stopless and weekend in love. And I'm living by will, tapping the well. Claiming the miracle, asking for help. Storming the kingdom from down on my knees. Claiming the promise, you're carrying me. Doing the math, counting the cost. Working the sums and coming up lost. Claiming the promise, I'm grinding the crush. Strong and I'm stopless and weak and in
How
love.
pointless is my points of view until I reach the
Strong
point.
and I'm stopless and weak
Well,
and in
how
love.
pointless is my points of view until I reach the point of you.
Remember in Boston when we were walking home in the rain. We said that we figured we'd always be singers no matter the name. Remember in Boston when we were walking home in the rain. We said that we figured we'd always be singers no matter the name.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ryan David Green plays guitar in this band.
That was a song called Appy Jam. Sometimes when I sit down to write a love song for my wife, it just turns into a wild guitar instrumental.
I've heard ballads too, and she likes those.
Yeah.
Seemingly, but also the shred jams.
Yeah,
She's like, it's so romantic.
she loves all of me.
It's beautiful. Hey, you don't know this. Every song we're gonna play is new to you, but our new record is new to us, so we're excited about that. We have a new record called Yearbook, and the whole record looks at how we deal with the passing of time. Sometimes you're like, slow it down, and other times you're like, I don't know if you remember if you were 13, you were like, could I just grow up like now? please, puberty, let's get it over with. And then in other cases, you're just like, I wish that I could figure out a way to slow things down, remember to be where I am. And Ryan wrote a song for the record that I think is really beautiful and captures that, and it's built off of that idea, this too shall pass. Does anyone ever say that to themselves? Does anyone use that ever? If it's a difficult moment, sometimes you could just tell yourself, listen, this too shall pass. The trouble with that phrase that I think Ryan explored in this song is that that phrase is equally true about good times, because it all moves at the same rate, you know? The bad ones, like being 13, you're like, let's just get it over with, and the good ones, like, you know, you're just wishing you could pause, and you can't ever seem to. This is a song called Embers that talks about how you try to reach for it and hold on to it, and you just never quite can. Embers.
Just a little longer now. I wish that I could wrap my arms around this moment. If only I was stronger so I didn't ever have to let it get away. I'm by your side, staring at the fire on a starry night. I know it isn't always gonna burn this bright. Is time on our side? Well, let's pretend, 'cause I don't want this moment to end. I have to put your picture down, all these feelings that blow around like embers. I remember how it used to be. I can't explain why I feel so differently these days. I don't know why we get a little taste of something perfect, but never seem to find a way to make it work. Is time on our side? Well, let's pretend, 'cause I don't want this moment to end. Don't want this moment to end. In the cold of the morning light, the fire's out and I start to cry. I miss you. If I knew that it would end this way, I still wouldn't give away a single day, my love. Why? Tell me why. No matter how hard we try to make it last, it always pulls away until it's out of grasp. Is time on our side? Well, that depends. Well, let's pretend, 'cause I don't want this moment to end. Thank you. It's called Embers.
give you a blatant political pitch. Are you ready for it? Cross your arms if you need to, raise your hackles, whatever you got to do to get ready for my political statement I'm about to make. We seem to be a divided place, and nowhere more so divided than the website Facebook. I don't know if you spend any time on Facebook, but my message would be this. Let's spend less time posting on Facebook and more time making our own lives like we want other people's lives to be. What do you think about that? I've just sort of been thinking that it's a massive distraction. There are many things to be frustrated about, people to be frustrated about, things to be afraid of. That's all really true. But I think sometimes we distract ourselves out there with just being really angry, and we ignore the one person we could actually affect change in because we spend our time out there. There's one person in the world we could actually do something about changing. And my favorite metaphor for that is the idea of making your life a song, like the kind of song you wish other people were singing. Just craft your own life into that. And it's difficult to do, but try to make that the kind of melody. And then other people hear it and they're like, let's turn that up. I want more of that in my life, you know? So often it seems like we spend time telling other people what sorts of songs they ought to be singing. What if we spent that same energy trying to write a good song here? If you're into that, and even if you're not into that, just give me a little grace and sing this part with us. There's a part for you to sing on this song. Super simple. We'll practice it now, and then we'll break it out in the middle of the song. All right? Here's how that part goes. Whoa, oh, whoa, oh, whoa, oh, Anyone want to try that? Whoa, oh, pretty good right off the bat. Whoa, oh, whoa, oh, Hold on to that for later. This is called Sick Bed Symphony. Looking out over his life from his sick bed, he called his sons to come and hear. He said, life is short and life is long, and I have loved you like a song, but now the end is in my ears. He said, don't bother with complaint, 'cause life ain't the way it ain't. Just come near and hear these words I wanna say to you. He said, make your lives a song, a simple symphony. May your melodies be soft and strong. Make your lives a song. Looking out over his life from his sick bed, not long before the final stanza, he said it's lonely going solo, so try to find a band and find a sweetheart who can hit the notes you can't. Don't be afraid now that you have come of age to wonder at the world like little boys or girls. Train your eyes to see all the beauty that is in between. Train your lips to make a joyful noise. He said, make your lives a song, a simple symphony. May your melodies be soft and strong. Make your lives a song. All right, here's our part together. Whoa. Movement in a symphony. You can choose to hear the beauty or the blues. It's up to you. It's up to you. So
your lives a song, a simple symphony. May your melodies be soft and strong, make your lives a song. Here we go.
Thank you. That's called Sickbed Symphony.
All right, mandolin time. In Tucson, where we're from, there's a band from there also, a band called Calexico. Anybody heard of Calexico, that band? You guys are people of exquisite taste here. They are the #1 cool band from Tucson. You're getting the #2 cool band from Tucson right now, but Calexico's out traveling the world playing music right now, and their bassist is a friend of ours and plays bass with us when he's not out with Calexico, and he found this mandolin at a pawn shop and gave it to me as a birthday present, and so I started playing mandolin, and it's still sort of definitely my second instrument to guitar, but I started playing it, started bringing joy like mandolins do, a lot of joy to me and to people who saw it, but my friend Cameron was getting a little sad, and I had to, we were having one of our post-show feelings check-ins like bands do.
It's real.
And he was a little jealous because he did not have a tiny instrument to play on stage.
I think I was like, all the photos are of you and the mandolin. And my pride spoke up, and I was just jealous.
Luckily, there's a luthier in Tucson named Beth Mayer, and she built him a hand-built ukulele, and so he one-upped my pawn shop mandolin with a hand-built ukulele. And then we found ourselves with dueling tiny instruments, and we thought we would do a song on 2 tiny instruments, and then we realized that there are no songs written for mandolin and ukulele duet, at least in the last 30 or 40 years. But if you go back to 1967, to the B-side of an album called Revolver, to song #2, this is And Your Bird Can Sing by the Beatles.
Tell me that you got everything you want, and your bird can sing, but you don't get me. You don't get me. You say you've seen 7 wonders, and your bird is green, but you can't see me. You can't see me. When your prized possessions start to weigh you down, look in my direction. I'll be round, I'll be round. When your bird is broken, will it bring you down? You may be awoken. I'll be round, I'll be round. So tell me it's your bird, every sound there is, and your bird can swing, but you can't hear me. You can't hear me. Yes.
Thank you. It goes fast when you speed it up. It's only 2 minutes to begin with.
You
should take a look if you can. If you have a minute between as we finish and the Mulligan Brothers set up, come to the merch table and look at our new record yearbook. Obviously buy it also, but come look at it. On the front cover, we commissioned a professional photographer to take like the coolest possible portraits. That, you know, like they're black and white. They almost look like the cover of With the Beatles, if you remember that. They're just sort of super black and white and beautiful. And on the back cover, we thought to balance it out, we probably should choose our most embarrassing high school photos. So that's on the back cover. And that just fits with sort of the theme of yearbook, is going back and reclaiming all that lost time and all those lost selves and the people that we want to forget about, and just saying, let's not forget, let's bring them back up. Let's decide to love those people too. So this is a song about learning to love your, 14-year-old self also. This is called All Right Tonight.
About where I've been, like the family that I came from, maybe, or anything that I'm afraid of saying. 'Cause I believe that we're sick with secrets, that it keeps us torn in pieces. Better off beat our weaker sides in the light. 'Cause it's all right tonight. You don't tonight. I want to show the other half that no one knows, like a body that the mirror hated, well, hid away in the journal pages. 'Cause I believe that we're sick with secrets, that it keeps us torn in pieces. Better off to bathe our weaker sides in the light. 'Cause it's all we're sick with secrets, that it keeps us torn in pieces. Better off to bathe our weaker sides in the light. 'Cause it's all right tonight. You don't have to hide. It's all right tonight. It's all right tonight. I'll take all that I'm so tired of hiding and bathe it in the light.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to do a song about loss and fighting the urge to fill the space after loss, which is tough to do. tough to sit with the space. But this is a song about sitting with the space until the time is right to fill it. This is called I Didn't Put Anything Into Your Place. My heart is a house, you're the brick that is missing.
This is my fallen off the hole in the wall.
And now it's December, there's wind on my face.
But I didn't put anything into your place. Didn't put anything into your place.
My heart is a house, you're the room that is empty.
This is on me, I put you out on the street.
By Valentine's Day, I was a miserable case.
But I didn't put anything into your place. Didn't put anything into your place.
I don't know why I always try to fill these holes that fill my life, but I'm waiting. I hope someday they'll go away. These memories take time to fade, but they're fading.
I am waiting. I am waiting. I am waiting.
Some drinking coffee and some think of shopping. Some get new lovers and some get new drugs. I wrote you to say that it must have been grace. I didn't put anything into your place. Didn't put anything into your place. Didn't put anything into your place. Didn't put anything into your place.
I didn't put anything into your.
Thank you.
Well, that song is about like your house falling apart, you know, as a metaphor for losing love in your life. We're gonna sing a song about a city falling apart, and that being a metaphor for losing love in your life. In the year 1871, the city of Chicago burned to the ground, and it was one of the worst sort of disasters of its time. We know that it has since been equaled. But in 1871, the whole city catches fire. 3 days burns completely out of control. And the fire burns so hot that once it's done, people sort of went back to try to find their homes, but there were no homes anymore. But they sort of figured out, you know, where their house used to be. And they're like, I know I had a safe here somewhere. And they would, like, you know, carefully, like, use a glove or a piece of fabric to turn the combination on the safe. But the metal was so hot from this fire still that when they opened the door, the rush of oxygen in consumed all of the money and keepsakes that were in the safes. So that was a common thing that happened also. So people lost everything, not just the building, but the things inside the building. And this went on again for 3 days. And on the third day, it finally rained and put this fire out, and people were like, forget this, I'm moving out of this city forever, I'm moving to Kansas City, or I'm moving to New York where nothing bad ever happens, you know, thoughts like that. But actually, they paused because there was this woman who was selling nuts on the corner. And she's just like, I got nuts for sale. And everyone's like, lady, it's the first day after we all lost everything. We're angry. We don't want your nuts. And they're like, actually, I'm really hungry. I really do want your nuts. So they bought nuts and they started feeling a little bit better. And then they thought, if a woman can be in business the first day after the greatest tragedy any of us have ever known. Maybe this thing is doable. Maybe we could do this. And so they started sort of clearing roads and putting rubble into piles, right? And surrounding cities, Minneapolis, Indianapolis, St. Louis, Milwaukee, started sending trainloads of water and food and blankets and clothes to help these people make sense of this madness, right? And on the ashes of the first Chicago, they built a second one over time. So Chicago has become known as the second city, not because it's second to New York in grandeur, but second because the first one burnt down and they didn't give up. On the ashes of the first one, they built a second one. So if you ever felt like everything that you knew burned down and you didn't know how to go forward, my thought is that if a whole city could do it, a person could definitely do it. This is called Second City. Yeah, the city burned down, we rallied all around. The water tower ran what was left downtown. You and I climbed with the lake behind. Through the smoke we saw where our city died. We saw burned out bridges and burned out parks, burned out kitchens and burned out hearts. We watched the flames take City Hall and watched the brand new hotel fall. So wrong, so young, so good and full of promise. So long to everything we've lost. And though downtown is falling down on the ground now, and all your hope has blown as ashes around now, brick by brick and beat by beat, your heart will survive until the second city lights begin to rise. So today we climb back way up high, where the city holds up the west half of the sky. Looking out, left no doubt, everything that burns turns back around. So wrong, so young, so good and full of promise. So long to everything we've lost. And though downtown is falling down on the ground now, and all your hope has blown as ashes around now, brick by brick and beat by beat, your heart will survive until the second city. I have known you, baby. I have seen that you are strong. You will burst out of the blues. You will burst into a song. And though downtown is falling down on the ground now, and all your hope has blown as ashes around now, brick by brick, beat by beat, your heart will survive until the second city lights. Begin to rise, arise, begin to rise, come on and rise, Well, all right.
Thank you guys very much. We're going to do one more song for you. And between the sets, please come over and check out all the CDs and cool shirts and things from both bands. It goes a long way. It's a journey making a living as a musician out there. And even if you're just listening on Spotify or you don't have a CD player in your car, you could get a CD and we could sign it and put your name on it, and you could set it on your desk and you could smile every time you see it and remember how fun Wednesday was. Or you can get a hat or a shirt or something like that.
Yeah, come give us lots of money, please. We have brand new hats that haven't been available before today, which is awesome.
And if you ever want to see us again, we have an email list. You can sign your email in there and put your zip code, and we'll let you know when we're near Woodbridge or in this area and where we're playing, and you can find out. So do sign that. You can have a guitar pick or a sticker if you sign our email list. This is our last song. This is an old song that we reworked for the yearbook album. When we used to street perform at Quincy Market, we always ended the set with this one, and it's still stuck. This is called Welcome You Into My Head.
Welcome you into my head. You'll be spending your time here, at least until I'm dead, which could grip on all your years. Welcome you into my head. I wonder what it is you'll see in me. Welcome you into my head. Welcome you into the storm. Just when the winter passes, summer clouds begin to form. Welcome you into my head. Here's a copy of my keys. Looks like you'll be leading me. Oh, 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 baby, baby, if you come and stay right here with me, then maybe I won't want to leave my head. That's Ryan Green on guitar right there.
Keep it going for my friend Cameron Hood.
Mulligan Brothers are up next. You're going to love them as well. For now, here is the chorus of our last song.
Oh, 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 baby, baby, you're gonna stay right here with me, and maybe I won't want to leave my head.
There it is. We're called Ryanhood. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
One more time for Ryanhood. We'll be back in 10 or 15 minutes. A good time to grab a beer or a sandwich, and we'll be right back with the Mulligan Brothers in a